Hello, this is a prepaid collect call from an inmate at the county jail. This call is subject to recording and monitoring. To accept charges, press 1. To refuse charges, press 2.
Well, hello there, Miss Lisa. Oh no, I'm doing pretty good. I've been keeping in contact with some people that are locked up and their families, and you know, it's a day by day thing, but we're making it. So I'm quite happy. How's things going over there in the jail? Uh huh. Uh huh. Well, 100 years ago, you'd be busting rocks or picking up trash, and some anything to make you despise the place and not want to go back. Well, yeah, a lot of folks were just, they figured that it's free room and board. So they'd go out, commit a crime, and get locked up and sit in a nice warm cell, especially when it's cold outside, and have a nice meal. There's even people that will pay to have that imitated. They can sit in a cell and eat something, but that's just because they don't understand what jail's like. And, those of us who've been to jail, we know how bad it is. Well, yeah, I feel bad that you lost your freedom and that you're up for a crime, but you know the risk. Everybody does, and that's what I'd speak out for. If you have unsafe or harsh conditions in there, then we need to fix that because there's nothing on the books in any state that shows that you have to live in those type of conditions. If they're going to lock you up, they need to feed you 3 meals a day. They need to make sure your health is okay, and they make sure that you have safe living conditions. And so far, and a heater not working, yeah, that's something we'll have to look into. How long has it been out? Okay, then I'll definitely contact the jail staff and your family, and we'll put a little we'll put a little fire underneath them. Well, well, if everybody's suffering, well, it okay, good. All right. So if they got a work order out, and okay, that's good too. But I'll still talk to them because it's cold outside, and we don't want anybody suffering any physical. Okay, and well, yeah, okay. If you need money on your phone, oh, your books, you need money on your books. Okay, yeah, I can. I'll let them know. Well, that's that's another thing about being locked up. I mean, it is lonely. But what's so odd about that is when people go to jail, there's a lot of folks they know in there. I'll talk to people and say, "Oh yeah, I know these people in here," or I'll mention a name. It's like, "Oh yeah, I know that person we met in here," and that's a shame that the same people go in there. But here lately, I've had some great success with people staying out. And now, of course, they're running into regular problems, relationship problems and budgeting and automobile breakdowns and but we don't have a lot of people that are harassed because they
You
went
have 60 seconds remaining.
to prison. So I'm happy about that. So when all is said and done, and you do get out, we'll definitely have a good support system set up for you, and we can get you back on track so that you can stay out. And yeah, I know if you sometimes you do get set up, and that's something that we can listen. I guess we can listen to your complaints about that, but we can't make people treat you
You have 30 seconds remaining.
with respect. So that's something that's completely out of our hand. Okay, yeah, I'll definitely let everybody know, and I'll keep checking up on that heating situation over there. You need a comfortable cell. That's a guarantee for these folks. Shouldn't put you in there if they can't offer that. Yep, definitely. We'll use every opportunity we can to bang the drum.
Thank you for using inmate call. Goodbye.
Well, hello. I'm Joel Wilborn, and this is AQS Inmate Call. And in this episode, I'd like to talk about conditions that are faced with people who are incarcerated. And I don't think anybody out there will disagree when we say that incarceration should be pleasant, should be a comfortable state, and should fulfill all your needs and then some. Let's face it, you committed a crime, you're being punished, being locked up shouldn't be a joyride. Yet on the other hand, locking people up is expensive, and it requires a lot of staff, and it's quite time consuming, and in many cases, there's just not enough room to hold everybody. This is something the court system and the penal system needs to look into, because we can't be putting people in cells with no electricity, no heat, no water, no working toilets. That's unsanitary. These are things that have to be kept up. If we were to take a tour of a prison, the prison cell should be pristine. I mean, they could put a requirement on the incarcerated people that they need to keep their cells clean and make sure that they have the cleaning material to wipe down the windows and floors and toilets and bed frames, so that if we were to walk through, it'd be really clean and sanitary. But there's not a lot of people that get to tour a prison or a jail. And I hear some terrible stories about staff mistreating people because of their gender, because of their beliefs, their religion, their crime itself. That's just wrong. And if people were to walk through there, they would see these firsthand. I know one of the people I interviewed was saying that the prison guards should have body cams on them, so that everything is recorded, that protect the guards who say, I did not attack her, and she said I did, and then protect the incarcerated people who might say, this person did attack me, and there's a video of it. So there's things we can do to meet our needs, locking the people up, punishing them. Yet, I think our best bet is to find alternative means of punishment. I know in my county, there was a measure that came up to provide funding through an extra tax that would mainly build a new jail. And I kind of asked myself, we've got so many prisons and so many jails in the United States. Why do we need to build more and then just fill them up? There's times that people are speeding down the road and a police officer will pull them over and give them a warning, or they'll just have to pay a fine. And it's very rare that a traffic stop like that ends up locking a person up. But there's times that the crime, when you really think about it, doesn't really need somebody to be locked up. I would say a person who pulls out a weapon and attacks somebody needs to be locked up. And maybe in domestic violence, somebody needs to be locked up. Maybe both of them if they're, causing a ruckus in the community. But people who are addicted to drugs, usually they're committing a crime because they have this desire to take these drugs. And these folks need a hospital, and they need counseling, they need medical attention. They don't need to be thrown in the jail. And when you go in there, and there's a lot of folks in there that are addicted to drugs, or homeless people, or people that just aren't in their right frame of mind, it makes you think, is this where they need to be? Will they come back? And I've talked to folks, why do you keep coming back to prison? And I don't get an answer that I can really accept. And so I'll let them know. That's not a very good reason to keep coming back to prison, turn this into a revolving door. We got to do something to fix this. And in most cases, working together, we do that. There's a lot of people out there who have been out of prison for longer than they've been out of prison most of their life. They have new records. I have some that I've talked to that haven't been in prison for years. And wherever the credit may fall, that's a success. And we need to work with that. And I think when county officials or even state officials want to build a new facility, I think the people should ask them, why? Wouldn't it be less expensive and more productive to come up with alternative means of treating these folks? Look at the stats. How many people are in prison because they're addicted? How many are in prison for violent crimes? There's situations where you look at a story like on a podcast or something, and there's a murder in a town that hasn't seen that violent of a crime in decades. So it's not like people are out here committing crimes because they have no other choice. It's usually something that's driving them. There's a huge motivation. And once we figure out what that is, we can work to take away that urge. And it's not 100% successful, but if the people know that there's resources out there for them and that there's people that are willing to help, listen to them, accept them for who they are, and not try to lead their life, not try to force them to do anything, I think we can get the prison population down. And that's my goal. And if I keep one person out of prison, I'm happy. It could be one person in 10 years. Because if I didn't try anything, I didn't do anything, that person could be in prison, or that person could have influenced other people to go to prison. I'm going to go commit a crime. You want to come with me? As a matter of fact, there's one person in prison that I talked to, and she said she took the blame for another person, and she's very upset that this woman did not take responsibility or doesn't really thank her for it. And that kind of stuff we don't want. We don't want this domino effect. And I want people to understand that getting out isn't a loss. Those folks that are just panicking. I'm getting out in 2 months. Where do I live? What do I do? Where do I go? Who do I talk to? And I told them, there's resources available when you get out. Just relax. Take it easy. And I'm there on the phone. They can call me. They can text me. They can send me an email. And I'll do what I can to help them out. And you'd be surprised at how helpful that is, just being there. Imagine walking out of prison and there's nobody there to greet you, no place to go to live, no job, you have maybe $20 in your pocket. Is that going to encourage you not to commit a crime? Is that going to make you feel that you are a valuable part of the community? And then to have people mock you, it just it just doesn't make any sense to me. And then you go in, you sit down, and you want to vote, and they want to build a new prison, not one to replace one that's fallen apart and unsafe, but a brand new one, just to take in some extra people. And will that encourage police officers to go out there and say, I'm not going to lock this person up, I'm not going to arrest this person, I'm going to, you know, I don't know. We need to put more money into better training, more officers, because there's a lot that don't want to get out there. They're not getting appreciated. This is an ongoing situation, and instead of taking away rights, removing a person's right to own a rifle, or a person's right to seek medical attention, instead of messing with that, just get some professionals. There's people that go to college to learn to help folks like that. There's people out there who used to be addicts and they're willing to help folks, willing to talk with them, sit with them, work with them. It's not that difficult. Yet, for some strange reason, we're making it into a difficult situation. So I'm just asking that you consider whether or not you need a new jail, need a new prison, need more officers, need more advanced resources. Look at that. If you want to stop crime, um, criminalizing things and taking away rights, that's just not going to work. It never has. It never will. Yet for some reason, we think we are going to fix things by doing the same old thing over and over. Get out, talk. You want your community safe? A good resource is to talk to the people that are locked up. Another good resource is to talk to law enforcement and medical personnel. Let's find a reason to win this battle. And more deaths, more crime shouldn't motivate us. Just the fact that we're all one big community and we need to work together. We don't need to be separated. We don't need to separate people by race, by gender, by religion. We need to find ways to unite people. And one common thing we have is we want to belong. We want to feel like we're an important part of the community. That might even cut back on some suicides. Well, thanks for tuning in. Please keep this conversation going. And together we can fight this crime. We can reduce the prison population. And that right there is a major accomplishment. And once we get it going, it should be easy to keep going. So have yourself a marvelous day and make amazing memories for tomorrow.